Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Right off the bat, I need to give a huge thanks to my friend Romero, who did the motion graphics for our new intro. Looking very nice, very pro. So you're going to be seeing plenty more of that. We got a little rebrand going on. We're back in the kitchen tonight. We're really in the kitchen tonight. We're making a little fusilli. I figured it was about time to make a little pasta on the show. You guys don't need to look at me sitting in the office yapping, every episode. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's get involved. And I don't know, you might learn a little something. If you're an amateur cook, we're not going crazy tonight. We're not getting super fancy. We're just gonna rip a little bit of this beautiful fusilli from our dear friends, Lisolina Pasta. Lisolina was kind enough to send us out a box of their mouth-watering fusilli heirloom whole grain pasta farmed for flavor, and I have to tell you guys, I was very skeptical of whole grain pasta. Whole grain pasta, to me, has always been a fake solution to a problem that doesn't exist. But the guys who make this pasta assured me that they just make it because it tastes good. They also sent us some of this beautiful spaghetti dust. It's a little spice mix that they do. Basically, you got some parsley, some chili flakes, Calabrian chili in there, sea salt, and garlic. And with that, you can make a real quick and easy little dinner if you're in a pinch. You know, a little chili, garlic, and oil. Nothing better, in my opinion. So the spaghetti dust is a cool ancillary product that they do. So check them out if you are in the Northeast. I think they're in some Whole Foods stores potentially. Check out Lisolina. Can't recommend them enough. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Now that the water is at a rolling boil, we're going to load in the fusilli. It's 7:31 by my watch. So this stuff, in my experience, cooks pretty quickly. But it cooks also very similarly to regular durum wheat pastas you will encounter at your local. It's pretty user-friendly, and man, I can't believe how good it is for being a quote-unquote whole grain pasta. So seriously, check them out. And it's super easy with you put it with the dust, a little bit of olive oil, maybe a little cheese if you're feeling frisky, and shit, man, that's it. So we're just going to set this shit and, maybe chat a little bit. Since we have some time while this cooks, figure I might as well do my job and talk a little bit more about some skateboarding shit. So it would appear that I
prematurely shot my wad on what was supposed to be a dry run, if you will, so now I'm afraid I have something of a mess on my hands.
In the couple of days that followed my last video, a bunch more stuff came out. Now that we're heading towards the end of June, I can see clearly I needed to let the full 6 months elapse so I could understand, what exactly was going to happen at the end of the year in the SOTY realm, in the SOTY race. Yeah, that's right. It's another SOTY video. We're milking it. The first big video to hit was the Jamie Foy SOTY trip. They went to Greece and Slovenia, and it was a good video. The SOTY trip videos the last few years have been good. What was the one that Ishad and Mason were on, and they were just annihilating that hubba? I can't remember, but for whatever reason, the SOTY trip videos have been coming out nicely, I would say. And I had a lot of people in the comments on the previous video saying, Jamie's gonna get it again, back to back. Jamie's got it in the bag already again. And, I disagree. I don't think that's going to happen. You got to remember, this is Thrasher. New Balance is Jamie's, cash cow. New Balance Red Bull. But, I don't know how much ad revenue Thrasher gets from Red Bull. But they definitely get a lot of ad revenue from New Balance. So, New Balance ponied up big time. They're hurting right now. They got to be. Tariffs, you think they're making the skate shoes in the U.S.? Are they making those Reynolds skate shoes in the U.S.? I doubt it. Anyway, I digress. By the way, you guys know this little spoon trick? If you put the wooden spoon across the pot like this, it stops it from boiling over. But it all folds into this because at the end of the day, other people were confused why I didn't think Chris Joslin was going to be in the conversation because Chris Joslin just got on revived Lakai. You think the new Lakai, partially owned by Luis Mora, is going to pony up to put Chris Joslin center stage for SOTY 2025? You're tripping. So that's why Chris Joslin's not getting it. But I don't think they would hit Jamie again. I mean, I think, Thrasher, they love the story, right? So they could hit Jamie again. They could hit Tyshawn again, right? Tyshawn has said that he would go for the three-peat. He's gunning for it because he's the Michael Jordan of skateboarding. Jamie is so strong in the market and so popular. He's got a lot of ravenous fan base around the world, and he deserves it. He's good. But I think Thrasher likes to mix it up to try and keep everybody happy since they're the only print organization in town. I think, it behooves them to switch it up every year to try and, keep their constituency broad. A couple of days after the Jamie Foy video, we got Gimme a Break, the new Baker video, 16 minutes, with a pretty heavy offering from one Tristan Funkhauser. T-Funk's been bubbling for the past few years. I think it was 2 years ago he was in the SOTY mix. He's obviously doing his thing, slamming Tecates, and he's looking good. He's looking strong, and we all know T-Funk can get a lot of footage. So, if he's making a push, and this is the first thing, it's a pretty strong first thing. He did some cool and impressive tricks in it. I didn't think there was a lot of filler. T-Funk's good. He's got the SF thing going for him, but does he have the money machine, which I very cynically but correctly assume is required to nab the SOTY distinction? So, he's getting Vans, so that's good for Vans. I don't know if he's getting paid by Vans. I don't know if they're going to announce him. But that helps segue into the next guy, and this is kind of now the clouds are parting, and I'm seeing, it feels like I'm seeing for the first time when I got to look at that new Curran Caples part for Vans, and I should have known. I should have seen it coming. There was a 4-page spread Vans ad for Curran in the last Thrasher magazine, the one with Cody Chapman. On the front, by the way, if you're going to be making fusilli, I highly recommend pairing it with a simple garden salad like I have here. Within that 4-page spread, there was a fragrance insert, the kind that you would find in a fashion magazine, a French Vogue, if you will. How much money does that have to cost to get a 4-page spread with a custom fragrance insert into Thrasher? Has Thrasher ever had a fragrance insert before? Please, if you know, let me know. Or any skate magazine, for that matter. I could see, Big Brother or somebody doing it for shock value. Maybe Nothing's New. Maybe I'm tripping. But maybe it's NBD. I don't know. Sound off in the comments, all ye old heads. But anyway, I saw the ad, I saw the footage, and I started to think, okay, new shoe, Vans, pumping the ad money, good footage. Curran had a nice part a couple of years ago as well, and they released the raw footage from that this year. And now he's got this Vans part. Okay. And I think that the skating in the Vans part was very good, very high level. Definitely the most I'm him vibes of any part I've seen so far this year. A lot of cool street transition work, a lot of gnarly rail skating, good variety here, I really enjoyed it. Feels like a worthy sequel to the last Curran Caples part that we had a couple years back, where he skated to the Ween song. He's skating to an REO Speedwagon song in this part, and I think it fits the skating quite nicely. Curran stuff always hits, with good production value, and it never seems forced. While he did a lot of good stuff in this part, I can see there being the potential for more. When he was on the bunt, he mentioned filming 4 enders, and, maybe they were all in this part. But I would imagine he's got more in the tank. He did some crazy shit, but, did he do 4 enders in this part, or is he saving 2 for the next thing? Is there an FA thing coming down the line? I think I've heard mention of that. So, They're definitely working on some hockey stuff, so maybe there'll be an FA section in the hockey video. Who knows, but Curran is definitely my front runner now for SOTY 2025, and, I'm down for it. I mean, how would Louis feel if Curran got SOTY before him? Probably pretty shortchanged, I would imagine, and depressed, but, Louis, he could get it, he could hunker down and really stack and get it if he wanted it. Anyway, that's it. That's my new SOTY take. There's always an addendum to these because you can never get the timing quite right. Speaking of which, I think it's about time to cut this fusilli loose over here. It's tasting nice and al dente. And by my watch, it is 7:40 just about, so 9 minutes, and we're there. And that was a pretty big pot I put on, so, very similar to normal pasta in cooking time, in my experience. I'm going to get this stuff drained and strained. You look at it there. It gets a little color back after you boil it. It turns a little bit more yellow, whereas it looks kind of brownish bronze in the bag. So that's kind of fun. And now all there's left to do is hit it with a healthy amount of the extra virgin olive oil. And you guys got to use the good stuff, by the way. Look into it. There's tons of fraud around olive oil, so make sure you're getting good product, guys. I don't want you to be caught out. Apply this stuff liberally, give a good drizzle over all that pasta. Make sure you get a little extra in there. And then we're going to come through with the dust. And this is it. Just oil and dust, oil and dust. Put a healthy amount of that stuff on there and give her a spin. I was feeling a little bit froggy this evening, so I decided to hit it with a little bit of that sweet, sweet Parmigiano Reggiano. And there it is. Beautiful, easy, quick dinner in 8 minutes, and a new SOTY frontrunner has emerged.